In this video lecture, we will see structural planning as per IS 456-2000 and IS 13920-2016. So as of now, you know that this is the architecture plan of our building structure. But to draw a model in computer software ETABS, we need a floor framing plan. So for that, we need to convert our architectural plan into the floor framing plan. So for that, we need to define the section sizes for the beams, columns and slabs. But these section sizes should satisfy the preliminary design. So if we lay out this plan, then it will somehow look like this. But we need to convert our architectural plan into the floor framing plan. We need to define the section sizes as per IS 456-2000 and IS 13920-2016 by respective codal provisions. So first of all, we need to define the positions of the beams, columns and slabs. So for that, here you can see I have made the floor framing plan for this plan. So here it is. So here you can see I have positioned the column locations at a specific distance to control the percentage of steel in the column. And here you can see with the help of beams and over which I have joined all the floor slabs. Whereas you can also see for these sections having the walls at the mid of any slab, here you can see this is our WCN bar. So here it is one wall. So to resist the loads of these wall, we need to provide a beam at the bottom. So hence I have provided here a secondary beam. Likewise here and here also, and here also. So this is what about our positioning of the structural members. But we need to define the section sizes for the columns, beams and slabs. So depending upon the required condition, we will provide that section sizes. So let's sizing the elements as per IS 456-2000 and IS 13920-2016. So as per IS 456 and 13920, there are some codal provisions. For the floor slab, we will follow the clause 23 and 24 of IS 456-2000. For beams, we will follow clause 6 of IS 13920 and clause 23 of IS 456-2000. And for columns, we will follow the clause 7 of IS 13920-2016. Whereas we can also preliminary design the section size for the column by the tributary area method, but here in our coursework we will only follow the clause 7 of 13920. So let's start with floor slab. So preliminary sizing of the floor slab should be done by the clause 24 of IS 456-2000. This is IS 456-2000, in which on clause number 24, so here it is, clause number 24, solid slabs. So here are two notes. For the slabs spanning in two directions, the shorter of the two spans should be used for calculating the span to the effective depth ratios. Which it means for the two-way slabs, the shorter span of the slab should be taken into the consideration for calculating the effective depth for this type of slab. So here, excluding one or two slabs, there almost all of our slabs are two-way slabs. This is the longest LX of two-way slab in our structure. Hence we will preliminary design the section sizes for this so that it can be satisfied for all the slabs. So here you can see this is the LY because this is the longer direction, whereas this is the LX which is the shorter direction. So as per IS 456 clause number 24, the shorter span should be taken into the consideration for calculating the effective depth for this slab. The second note states that for two-way slabs, shorter span up to the 3.5 meter, the mild steel reinforcement, the span overall depth ratio given below has generally been assumed to satisfy the vertical deflection limits for loading class up to the 3 kN per meter square. Which it means here our model not satisfied this condition because as per IS 456 for mild steel reinforcement, whereas we will use the HYST steel bars for the slab for the reinforcements. So for that, so here it is, for high strength deform bars, which is nothing but HYST bars, the values should be multiplied by the 0.8. Hence this L by D ratio, span to the effective depth ratio, should be multiplied by 0.8. Hence we will be multiplying this L by D ratio with 0.8. And the other condition, that is for the two-way slab, for the shorter span up to the 3.5 meter, which is yes, satisfied, because our effective span is 3.24 meter. All the slabs are continuous slabs, not simply supported. Hence, we will take the span to the effective depth ratio as the 40 multiplied by the 0.8, because we are using HOSD steel bars of FE415. So let's see the calculation. So from the deflection point of view, L by D ratio is taken into the consideration for control over the deflection in the slabs. So L by D ratio is nothing but 40, but we are using HOSD bars, hence we will need to multiply it by 0.8. So the effective span of the slab is 3.24 meter, hence 3.24 divided by D is equal to 32, which is 40 into 0.8. If we calculate the value of D, then it will come around 0.102 meter, which is nothing but 102 mm, which is the effective depth. But we need to provide the total depth, hence D plus 5 by 2 plus clear cover, which will sum around comes to the 125 mm. We are providing 125 mm of floor slab, where we are providing the staircase west slab of 250 mm. The live load which is taken into the consideration over the staircase is more as compared to the floor slabs. Hence we are taking the west slab depth is more as compared to the floor slab. And the thickness and all other aspects of staircase west slab will be discussed while designing the staircase. Now we will see the preliminary sizing of the beam as per clause 6 of IS 13920-2016 and clause 23 of IS 456-2000. Let's first see clause 23 of IS 456-2000. So here you can see this is the clause 23 for beams. In clause 23, 23.2 control for the deflection states here, for the effective span up to 10 meter, the values should be taken into the consideration. Here over all the beams are continuous beams, hence we need to consider the span to the effective depth ratio as 26. So L by D ratio is 26, whereas longest beam in our plan is this, which is 2 and 2.74, which is nothing but 4.74 meter. Hence 4.74 divided by D is equal to 26. Then D comes around to be 0.183 meter. Hence the effective depth of our beam should not be less than 183 mm. But as per clause 6 of IS 13920-2016, there are some other codal provisions that should need to be satisfied. So let's first see clause 6 of IS 13920-2016. So this is IS 13920-2016, ductile design and detailing of reinforced concrete structures subjected to the seismic forces. So in which clause number 6, the provisions for the beams are provided. Here you can see 6.1.1, beams shall be preferably have width to the depth ratio of more than 0.3, which is nothing but means B by D should be greater than 0.3. Beam shall not have the width less than 200 mm, which is nothing but means B should not be less than 200 mm, and the beam shall not have the depth more than 1/4 of the clear span. D should be less than 1/4 of clear span, which is nothing but should not be more than. So if we calculate this 1/4 of clear span, let me open the calculator first. 1/4 of clear span 4.74, then it comes around to be 1.18, hence which is more than the total depth of our beam should be satisfied. So here we are providing these section sizes that satisfied the above codal provisions. For the primary beams we are providing 240 by 325 mm beam size, whereas the width of beam is 240 mm, which satisfy these codal provisions, and depth is 325 mm, which satisfy these codal provisions. Similarly, secondary beam will provide as 240 mm by 250 mm, and the plain beam were provided as 240 mm by 250 mm. So now let's see the preliminary section sizes for the column as per clause 7.1.1 of IS 13920-2016. So here you can see clause 7 is for columns and inclined members. So as per clause 7.1.1, the minimum dimension of column shall not be less than 20 times dB, where dB is the diameter of largest diameter of longitudinal reinforcement bar in the beam passing through the anchoring into the column at joint. We are providing the maximum 12 mm bar, hence dB value will be 12, hence 20 into dB, 20 into 12, which is nothing but 240 mm, which means clause states that minimum dimension shall not be lesser than 240 mm, whereas the other codal provision states that the minimum dimension of column shall not be less than 300 mm. Hence, by considering both the codal provisions, we will need to define the section sizes. So, we are providing 350 by 350 mm of column size at the outer, whereas inner column will be provided as 375 mm by 375 mm respectively at the all floors. So, now we will get all these section sizes for the beams, columns and slabs. So, this is how it is. For the slabs, we are providing 125 mm, and the staircase slab we are providing 250 mm. Beams we are providing 240 mm by 325 mm, and secondary beams we are provided as 240 mm by 250 mm, and the plain beam we are provided as 240 mm by 250 mm. Columns are provided as 350 mm by 350 mm and 375 mm by 375 mm, whereas all the structural sections were provided casted with M25 grade of concrete. So here it is our structural plan with respect to the section sizes. So with the help of this, we can easily model our structure in computer software ETABS. So if we see the section sizes, then you can see these are the general dimensions with respect to the section size, so that it will not bother the aesthetical aspects of our building structure. So this is what the structural planning is.